race fans, welcome to Friday night excitement here at Ashwegan Speedway. Timed hot laps about to get underway for the Thunderstock division. This is the last class to take in their practice. And Greg Callan, it means more than it would on a regular Friday night because tonight is live on MAV TV Canada at 9 o'clock. Of course, change up the qualifying format with basically time trials, timed hot lap session. As that will line up the twin qualifiers later on in the program.
These drivers really want to make it Mr. Transmission Victory Lane, even to make it into the top three, to get that chance to be on television. So the cars are out in full force. We saw a great field of mini stocks already do their timed hot lap. Now the Thunder stocks out to do the same thing. And it means a lot to these drivers. And in the big picture scenario, Adam, this helps these teams as they go to find marketing partners in the off season or even during the middle of the season to say, hey, we're not only a live in-person product, we're not just a live stream on social media product, we're also a national television, and we can really do something for your brand.
Well, that's just it. It's about making a better product and enjoying racing. I mean, when you listen to, and I try not to listen to too much NASCAR radio on Sirius XM, because it's a lot of talk about empty seats and you know how things were better 20 years ago. Well, when in the history of mankind have people not said, oh, back in the good old days, back in my day? For someone, this is the good old days. And you know what? On a Friday night here, 4 divisions, we got more than 100 race cars. You're where you should be on a Friday night to take in the show.
I've said that a few times to people that, you know what, sometimes we need to step back and look and realize we are in what someday we're going to call the good old days with the car counts we are seeing, the competition we're seeing. We need to be thankful for what we get to watch every Friday night.
Well, and we get a couple of comments throughout the year, maybe a couple of comments every week. Well, there's a lot of empty seats in the grandstands we see on the live stream. Well, yeah, these grandstands also hold more people than Copps Coliseum in Hamilton, right? You don't expect to fill these grandstands on a weekly basis. We get a good crowd coming out. The numbers are steadily on the increase year after year. And the eyeballs we're putting on these race cars through the live stream and unprecedented opportunities through MAV TV Canada, in the long run, is going to be better for everybody, I think.
And there's been the discussion about the live broadcast. Of course, those that are tuned in right now will be watching with us up until 9 o'clock. And then our feed will switch over to MAV TV Canada. And you'll need to check with your local television provider to pick that up. Right now, the only ones that aren't carrying that, Cody Pro, I know, is very close to at least in the works, but Rogers would be the major carrier that does not have MAV TV Canada as an option. So we do encourage those that are watching, if you want MAV TV on your cable package or on your dish package, call your provider, see if they can get it for you, or just voice your opinion, because that's what's going to get MAV TV Canada on all the networks across Canada. So it's really, truly is the voice of the fans that's going to make it happen.
And if you haven't argued with Rogers lately, why not?
This is a good reason.
Good to see the Bleaches back again. Zach Bleach and Bill Bleach. Well, I believe that's Zach out there. I would imagine Bill's here somewhere. I was looking down at my screen, doing a little bit of homework, Greg.
Well, there's a lot to do tonight because we've got a few outside invaders coming in because of the live broadcast. So some different names, some different cars in every division, it seems, tonight. And just trying to get everything sorted out and ready to go as the final group of Thunderstocks will take to the track for their timed hot laps, and then we will get right into the opening ceremonies. And there's an awesome new camera view we have tonight, Adam. It's the RoboCam over in the tech shed, and we can watch them as they scale the cars, and that camera will actually rotate all the way around, and we can look into the pit area as well. That's going to be where the work area is for the sprint car teams, but we can also see a vast amount of space back there in that pit area. So that's an awesome new camera angle that we've added here tonight.
And some of the best cussing at the racetrack happens in the tech barn.
I'm sure there was a few words last week as we saw some drivers not so happy at the end of the night, came across the scales not in the right shape, and one of those was Matt Farnham, who was originally the winner in the crate sprint car division, but was too light when he crossed the scales. And on weight infractions, that bumps everybody up. So young Nick Sheridan picked up the victory. Huge win for him. And great to see a well-spoken young man that is taking this track by storm.
Matt Farnham's going to develop a dubious distinction here at Ohsweken Speedway.
Yes, he had the tech infraction at the end of last year. And now the weight issue has cost Matt Farnham the win from 1 week ago. Thunderstocks concluding their timed hot laps to get ready for their qualifying races a little bit later on here tonight. My name is Greg Kelman, with me Adam Ross, and covering all the action trackside will be Clinton Jeffrey.
How come you don't say is?
Is what?
Greg Callan. I get it. You're not wrong. My name, Greg Callan.
Oh.
Me, Greg Callan. Clinton Jeffrey in the house, looking as chipper as ever.
He's looking dashing.
Wow, he smiled.
I'm sweating like crazy up here.
Do you want to know why, Clinton Jeffrey?
Well, don't smash through Mr. Transmission Victory Lane. That's Greg Hale. And funny you mentioned, we talk about Greg Hale. We talked about Chris being away for a wedding, and I met his dad on the way in. He said, I'm driving. And I said, what's your name? He said, Greg. I said, don't wreck your kid's car. He goes, he said the same thing.
Fair point. So to go back to your original thought, Clint, about it being 150 degrees in the tower, it's 150 degrees in the tower.
Well, you guys have...
No, we had... Don't you put those blinds down.
Don't touch your blinds.
They've been down for hours. I finally put them up because I wanted to see the racetrack. I figured it's not going to get any warmer in here because I think we would combust.
Okay, just so the fans know, you guys have 2 air conditioners in this small 20-foot shack.
And does it feel like they're working?
It was cold in here today when I was in here. You hot bags have boiled it up in here.
Hot bags.
What, I'm not allowed to make up terms? You guys make up terms?
You can make up whatever you want. Look, people are looking. You've made it awkward now.
We're ready for
Anytime I get close to you guys, it's awkward.
This is true. I think you need to say it, Greg. Like you can't. Greg just motioned his hands as though everyone should rise on his cue.
I thought maybe you'd do some work for a change, but that's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll ask you now to please rise, remove your caps as we turn your attentions to corners 1 and 2 where the national flags are being flown as we get ready for the playing of the U.S. and Canadian national anthems.
Crate heats first? Yes. Why is the guy doing that? We gotta get a radio brought up to you, Darren. There's a radio down there for you. Hey, Donald. Hey, we're at the races, and the lights are just staying straight. They're not going up the poles. How do we get them to rise? What are we missing here? Like when we turn them on, they used to go up the poles, chase up the light. They're just staying on one side. They're not chasing it all.
Ready to go racing on McDonald's of Brantford and Paris night here at Ohsweken Speedway. Emergency services night as well. Glad you could join us again. My name is Greg Kellman. Along with me is Adam Ross, and trackside will be Clinton Jeffrey. MAV TV Canada in the house tonight for All North Racing, powered by Pinty's. Race number 2 on the 6-race schedule on national television. Strickland GMC, Crate Sprint Car Division, out onto the speedway in just a moment for their first qualifying heat of the night. And as Adam Ross crushes his last few candies, we'll send the lineup over to him.
I'm reading messages, and I don't know why you got to be like that.
Turnaround's fair play.
Heat race number 1 is going to roll off like this. On the pole in the 49H out of Hagersville, Ontario, it's Jerry Hill. Alongside him, in the number 10 from Oakland, Lofton Schutz. Row 2 on the inside from Ohsweken, the 69 is Joshua Hill, and alongside him in the number 4 out of Vanessa, Hannah Farrell. Starting 5th, last week's winner from Mount Bridges, driving the number 45 is Nick Sheridan. Alongside him from Kitchener, the 50 LS of Adrian Staley. Starting 7th from Port Colborne, the 5D is Jacob Dykstra. And starting 8th out of Caledonia, the R52, recently put on the Ohsweken Speedway Wall of Fame, Ryan Hunsinger. And rounding out the field from Niagara Falls in the number 70, it's Bailey Hurd, and to his outside from Scotland, the 83 is Spencer Davis. First day of summer, Greg Cowler.
It feels it.
It does. It's toasty. It's kind of nice.
Shout out to Wesley Shaw. This is what we like to hear. Wesley sitting in section F tonight. Great section. Says he enjoys the awesome commentating. Well, thank you, Wesley. Hope you enjoy the show here tonight. Glad you could join us. White flag is out. And when we come around next time by, we're going to go with the first green flag of the night on McDonald's of Brantford and Paris night here at the Speedway.
You know, it would have been nicer if he included you in that compliment. If he only likes the great commentating.
No. No. Checks in the mail. First green flag of the night. Kyle McKenzie has it in hand, and we send them off down the front stretch as Lofton Schutz back tonight. They figured out the problems on the car, and he's ready to go racing. He scoots out to an early lead.
Yeah, so far so good for Schutz. Those problems look so frustrating for that team. We got one around in 360. Keep on going for Jacob Dykstra. One up and off the base. I believe that's Ryan Hunsinger limping off of turn 4.
And he is not going to be able to continue on, so that will bring out the caution flag. Field backs down here on the front stretch. Ryan Hunsinger 1 week ago was down here in front, but for different reasons as he was inducted onto the Ohsweken Speedway Wall of Fame. And now he'll get a push here. We'll see if the car is able to refire or if he'll need to take it over to the pit area. Lofton Schutz right off the hop, jumped out. Well, yeah, Ryan Hunsinger able to get back under power. Lofton Schutz 1 week ago had mechanical problems for actually both of the Insta Insulation teams as he and his teammate AJ Lewis couldn't get their cars out onto the racetrack, but Lofton definitely has it figured out. He jumped out to a sizable advantage off the drop of the green.
How come I can't see our live stream, Greg? I can't seem to get it up.
I've got it working here. Ohsweken Speedway Facebook page. Click on the videos tab. It should be the first one right there. Or YouTube.
I'm a Facebook kind of guy, so there's Ohsweken Speedway.
So, folks, if you can't find the broadcast, don't feel bad. My co-announcer can't either.
How? Every week I find it.
Ed Burrow watching from Schenectady, New York. It's down around the Rolling Wheels Raceway,
No,
is it not?
no, farther than that.
Farther
Schenectady,
than that?
isn't that where Dave Lape was from? Or was that Canada-Harry? Someone was from Schenectady.
Green flag out, and Lofton Schutz again pulls away to the advantage. And here comes last week's winner, Nick Sheridan, down to the inside of the Hurricane, Hannah Farrell.
Quickly picking up that second spot. He'll try to chase down Lofton Schutz out in front. He pulls away a little bit from Hannah Farrell. She's about to be overtaken by Jerry Hill. Adrian Staley in that white number 50. Oh, I shouldn't have talked about him having a good run. He loses a spot there in 1 and 2. And at the back of the field, Jacob Dykstra with a long way to go. Oh, thanks, guys. I got a couple of comments and I can find my live stream.
Lofton Schutz leads over Nick Sheridan. Then you've got Hannah Farrell back in third, Jerry Hill fourth. Fifth right now is Adrian Staley, and Josh Hill in the 69 side by side with him trying to get into the top 5.
Matt Castelline, a lot of things come with old age, my friend. Down off of turn number 4, we've got a battle for the lead. Lofton Schutz with the spot. Right behind him, Sheridan looking to the inside through 1 and 2.
Young Hotchus out in front. Lofton Schutz in front in the 10. Then you've got the 45 of Nick Sheridan. Sheridan looks low off of corner number 4. Draws up even at the line with 2 to go. It's still Schutz in the Insulthane number 10.
Man, oh man, Sheridan able to keep his foot to the floor right around the bottom of the racetrack. That was a great line through 1 and 2. Lofton Schutz not going to give up. He's going to try a crossover move.
One more time around for Nick Sheridan in that Pride Seats car number 45. Stretches the advantage through corner number 2, and man, when you're hot, you're hot. This young man has found it. Nick Sheridan's going to work it through 3 and off of 4 for the win.
Sheridan going to bring it home in first. Lofton Schutz will have to be happy with that second place. That car has just not run for him this year. Third, making it into the show, was Adrian Staley. Problems off of 4. Hannah Farrell making it in as well. So is Hill. Going to the B mains will be Jerry Hill, Bailey Hurd, Spencer Davis.
Jacob Dykstra, who is the car spun out up in corner 4.
I don't think he made hard contact up there.
Now on this side, everything looks A-OK, but hard to tell on the other angle. For Jacob Dykstra, he'll get a push away, and the second qualifying heat coming to life over on the warm-up track.
And Wayne Dempster, that's a good question. Wayne asked if Tony, Enrico, and Christopher would be bringing their T-shirt trailers to the track. The answer to that for me is I'm not sure, but I'm sure there will be apparel available. Greg?
Tony and Rico will have apparel available. Rico will have some T-shirts. Tony will have T-shirts, hats, and decals. I don't know about Christopher Bell. I believe he is racing with the Hills team. So I'm not sure the situation, but I have an inside source that there's a Canadian company putting together the apparel for Tony and Rico.
Wow. Is it imagefactor.ca?
It is.
Fantastic. Good for you. Do you offer mullet hats? Or is that hockey hair hats?
You know what? I never thought about that.
How could you not?
I know.
Heat race number 2 in the Strickland's GMC Crate Sprint Car Division lines up like this. On the pole out of Ancaster in the 51 Hallett Home Improvements entry is Trevor Young. On the outside of row 1 from Brantford, Massage Pro number 49L is Lucas Smith. From Hamilton, he will start third in the number 56 Burger Barn car as Derek Lemaire, and alongside him from Hagersville in the MK8, it's Matthew Hill. Starting in 5th out of Beansville, the 1A Schneider Electric Machine is Paul Klager, and alongside him in the NRAM Dynamics, number 88 from Caledonia after a hard crash last week. Great to see Jesse McDonald back in the house. Starting 7th in the 3B out of Welland, it's Blaine Barrow, and from Kitchener starting in 8th, the number 2 is Travis Hofstetter. Rounding out the field, starting in 9th from Burford, the 12 is Brad Herron. And alongside him from Brantford, the 69K is Jason Dixon. Now, is that the same Jason Dixon that runs mini stocks, Greg?
I believe it is. He's from Brantford as well on the score sheet. that we are seeing here in this lineup. So I do believe it is Jason Dixon. That Ken's Auto 69K. Nice looking car. So again, for those watching right now the live stream broadcast, we will be breaking away at 9 o'clock to go to the MAV TV Canada national broadcast for All North Racing powered by Pinty's. So if you're watching right now wondering why don't we have the scoreboard up at the top of the screen, everything's loaded and ready to go for All North Racing at 9 o'clock. So we're going with a pretty raw feed here tonight before we go to the national broadcast at 9 o'clock.
Plus, you don't need the graphics. We'll tell you the important parts.
The parts we know.
The parts we don't know, we make up. A little bit of debris up in turn 3. Safety crew out there to pick it up.
So, Adam, you seemed as surprised as I was when you looked at the crate sprint car standings and saw Stephen Beckett is actually the point leader coming in to week number 5 in the crate sprint car division. He's been very consistent, but probably not the name that you thought would be at the top of the pile.
And no, and neither is Paul Klager in second. I mean, Paul Klager, who has been a steady Eddie, running around, 5th place result somewhere in there, and that's going to do you well in the points. Liam Martin, obviously, with some wins, or a win, but you have to string together solid finishes. You can't really have any really weak nights, but you're going to in this class. There's going to be nights when great cars don't even qualify for the feature, so I think this is one division that's going to go right down to the end.
And so far, looking at the point standings, only one division has a driver at the top that's actually won a race, and that's in the Thunderstocks. Dave Bailey won on opening night. The rest of the point leaders haven't even got a feature win yet this year. You look at Mac DeMann in the 360 sprints, who's been on the pad, the victory lane pad down there in front every single week. Doesn't have a win yet, but he's atop the points. And then Stephen Beckett, as we mentioned as well. And Tim DeBoer in the 9 car in the mini stocks, he's been very consistent as well. And that's put him at the top of the pile. So very, very good racing so far, and good to see a lot of parity, a lot of different drivers having success this year in different ways.
I think we might need to get a bigger rev limiter for Doug Leonard. He is on the chip already tonight, and it is early in the program.
White flag displayed, and we'll try it again this time around for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet crate sprint car division. Trevor Young and Lucas Smith on the front row.
We'll try this again with Trevor Young on the pole, Lucas Smith on the outside. 5 cars transferred to the A main. Everybody else B main bound for their last opportunity to try to qualify for tonight's feature event.
Green flag goes up in the air. Trevor Young and Lucas Smith will lead them down into corner number 1. And Adam, great to see that 51 car back and all together after the ride he took last week.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate incident where Trevor shares a lot on Facebook, so you can kind of share his frustrations and share his headaches with him as the season goes along. Jason Dixon putting a significant amount of smoke out behind that 69 machine. He's going to take it pit side. Meanwhile, out in front, Lucas Smith with 10 car length lead over Trevor Young, Derek Lemaire, and then wow, Paul Klager, Jesse McDonald, and Brad Herron having a great battle for that 5th position.
That they are at the, right now we see Herron and McDonald going at it side by side as teammates race up in corners 3 and 4. Now Blaine Barrow gets into the mix.
And remember, Paul Klager in that all-important 5th position that puts him straight into the feature event without having to worry about a consi. But Brad Herron had a great turn 1 and 2 there, closing the gap as they race into 3.
Klager really opened the bottom side, but Herron couldn't close the gap there as now Klager works to the outside of the 8MK as Klager has problems in corner 1 and Hill will drift up high into corner 2 and will take it pit side.
Disappointment for Paul Klager, 2nd place in the point standings coming into tonight. And whoa, trouble down in turn 4. That's Blaine Barrow nosed into the concrete.
That will bring out the caution flag here in heat race number 2 for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet crate sprint car division. With Lucas Smith, your leader. Trevor Young back there in position number 2. Derek Lemaire running in the 3rd spot. Holding down 4th, Matt Hill in the 8MK, and Brad Herron now has that final transfer position. whatever Lucas Smith said to his car 2 weeks ago, well, we know on social media he said maybe it's time to bring out the backup car. But whatever private talk he had with that car seemed to work, because he got it on the podium last week, and here he is having a very dominating performance here in the qualifying heat in that the Massage Pro number 49L.
He did so. And we should say you're very welcome to the fans in turn 4 who said the speakers weren't working properly. Now they are. We've had some reports the speakers in the pits were hissing a little bit. I know Clinton has been all over the place. He has been vibrating tonight, trying to stay on top of things. Doing a great job as always.
Welcome back, Eric from Michigan, who's a regular on our live stream. Glad to have you back again. We have a lot of regulars that aren't from this area, and I wondered how many race fans would tune in to drivers that aren't in their vicinity and really they have no relationship with on a personal level. But we have a number of fans that tune in every Friday night from all around the world, it seems, and they're becoming fans on our social media platforms.
And we're going to do our best to keep bringing you the stories of these drivers and race teams. You know, you try to give a little bit of background, give a little bit of flavor to these racers because they're so different. You know, they're young and old, and Trevor Young, the work he does with his students, letting students at the school he teaches at work on the race car, there's just really cool things going on out there. And we try to share what we can and fight with each other a little bit and entertain you however we can, Greg. We're back under green down through 1 and 2. Lucas Smith continues to lead the way. Trevor Young with a good restart right on his tail. Derek Lemaire there as well as the top 3 have pulled away.
2 laps left to go for Lucas Smith over Trevor Young, Derek Lemaire, Matt Hill, and Brad Herron. It's Blaine Barrow that's trying to get on his horse, and wow, he might gain a little bit of ground there as Brad Herron had problems in 1.
I think Brad had a thought to run around the very bottom of 1 and 2, but missed the entry, and Matt Hill got real squirrely in turn 4. Here goes Herron to the outside, but more importantly, Blaine Barrow as well to that transfer spot.
So put Matt Hill now back into B main territory, back with Jesse McDonald and Travis Hofstetter. Checkers out. Lucas Smith gets a win over Trevor Young. Derek Lemaire. 4th will be Brad Herron, and 5th will be Blaine Barrow. So Matt Hill, Jesse McDonald, and Travis Hofstetter will all go to tonight's B main. There's your winner of heat race number 2, the Massage Pro number 49L of Lucas Smith.
Andrew Tarr watching from 32,000 feet. I hope you've got good binoculars. Heat number 3 in the crate sprints on the pole from Binbrook in the 29, it's Liam Martin. Alongside him in the 22 junior out of St. Catharines, it's Alan Galetta. Starting 3rd from Oshweek in the 28 is Jordan Hill, and starting 4th out of Ancaster in the 26X, it's Terry Baker. Rolling off 5th out of St. Thomas, the 52 is Jesse Costa, and alongside him from Six Nations, car number 20, Johnny Miller. Starting 7th from Font Hill, our points leader in the 08, Stephen Beckett. Starting 8th out of Rockwood, the 74 is Rob Neely. And rounding out the field from Beachville, number 5, DJ Christie.
We have a lost cell phone that's been, well, it's not lost anymore. We have it at the front gate. So if you've lost your cell phone, go to the front gate, describe it, and we'll get that phone to you. And you need to describe it more than telling us it's got numbers on it that you can dial other phones with. Detailed description, please. But they do have that down in the main entry at the front gate. Also the 50-50, guaranteed $750, flagged down the sellers in the pink t-shirts.
The field taking shape down the back straightaway. They'll get into their proper starting lineup. And we should see 1 to go. White flag from Kyle McKenzie in the flag stand. Now, Kyle, does the wind blowing from turn 1 down towards turn 4, does that help you up there? You're number 1. You're number 1. It's usually not a flagpole he holds up to tell me that either, Greg.
I can't see why. Well, the point leader is in the thick of this one, way back in the 7th starting spot. That car number 08, that's Stephen Beckett out of Font Hill, Ontario. And he's in a pretty tough heat here when you look at it. You've got Liam Martin, Jordan Hill. They have feature wins this year in that 29. And in the 28 machine, Jesse Costa there as well. One on the May 30th, the MAV TV Canada night.
Whoa, DJ Christie, a little bit of contact there with Johnny Miller. Then Rob Neely bounces up and over the back end of that number 5. I was just about to say some of our most aggressive competitors are starting at the back of this one. DJ Christie, Rob Neely, Jesse Costa. Be fun to watch them sort themselves out.
Whole front end collapsed over on DJ Christie's 5-star machine there. As you can see on the screen, the right front to the left front is also collapsed over on that car. So a bad start to the night for the driver of the Castrol Edge, DeGroot Hill Chevrolet, number 5-star.
We'll be getting reports from Clinton Jeffrey a little bit later on this evening, and of course when after 9 o'clock when things go live with Mav. In the meantime, he's on the fly tonight, fixing problems that arise and being the general manager of Ohsweken Speedway. DJ Christie looks like he's going to stay strapped in there to get the long pole back to the pits. Where his dad, Jay Christie, will oversee repairs. There's not much you can't fix on a sprint car between the heat race and the B main. They're relatively easy cars to work on, to replace components, do those sort of things. Look at this, Sean Gibbs in the house.
The Steve's Towing crew getting things hooked up for DJ Christie, getting him back to the pit area again. In the qualifying heats, no work area, so they will have plenty of time to get ready for the B main, which is scheduled to come up right before our intermission here tonight.
The Gibberpotamus has made his appearance. I believe he's going to be our Victory Lane coordinator here this evening. He's no Vanna White, but he does a pretty good job.
Well, we talked a little bit about Tony Stewart, Rico Abreu, Christopher Bell, and their merchandise, but they will be coming here to race on Monday, July the 22nd, Tuesday, July the 23rd for the Summer Nationals, brought to you by Burger Barn, Bradshaw Brothers, Nitro 54 Variety, and Aero Express. Plenty of tickets available for those two big shows.
And let's get confirmation from Mike Garrow, but I believe, Mike, those shows will go live on MAV TV, Canada, and the U.S. We're working on it. Awesome, because we've got fans chiming in now from the United States because the stream is going off. So fans on the state side, we hope to have real good news for you in the near future on how you can watch the remaining 4 MAV TV events this season. We're lined up and ready to go back to green flag racing. Liam Martin on the inside, Al Galetta Jr. on the outside. Slow pace through 3 and 4. And I noticed last time Al Galetta was very cautious. He was really making sure that Liam Martin got to fire first. I think Liam recognized that, so he's going to have a slow start again. And he's able to drive away down the front straightaway. A savvy move by the young man behind the wheel of the number 29.
Jordan Hill on the inside line, got a run on Galetta, but Galetta doing good to keep pace with the drive of the number 28. Here comes Jesse Costa now to his inside.
Costa looking for racing room in that black with orange number 52. And deep in the field, points leader Stephen Beckett still at the tail of the field. He's got Rob Neely right in front of him, battling with the 26 of Terry Baker.
Very tough heat race to transfer through. When you look at it with Liam Martin, a feature winner this year. Second place, Jordan Hill, he's got one. Jesse Costa, he's got a win as well. And there's the rookie, Johnny Miller. Fantastic job up there in fourth.
The Iceman, they call him, Johnny Miller.
Three on the board, 5 laps left to go for Liam Martin. Jordan Hill and Jesse Costa are the closest battle on the track right now, as Costa trying to reel in the second place driver.
Terry Baker got a little squirrely out of turn 4 last time. That's going to cost him some ground to the battle between Stephen Beckett and Al Galetta. Beckett's got a long way to go to try to get into a transfer spot. I don't know that he's got time to get that done.
Coming down to complete lap number 5, the driver to Binbrook, Ontario. Liam Martin, a good 3-car fight behind him, though, as Johnny Miller shoots by Jesse Costa, now works by Jordan Hill. He says, you guys have won 2 feature wins this year. That means nothing. I'm going to drive up to second pass. Both of them, impressive run by the Iceman.
Well, and do you remember what happened to Johnny Miller last Friday? He failed to qualify for the feature, and I've noticed that drivers who don't get into the feature, when they expect to, you see a difference in their style the next week. They take nothing for granted. As the white flag flies, 1 more lap to go in this crate sprint heat.
Stephen Beckett trying to work his way closer to the front. Meanwhile, Liam Martin sets sail through corners 3 and 4 for the final time. Coming to the checkered flag, Martin will pick up the win over Johnny Miller, who has a nose wing that's all out of shape. Jesse Costa third. Fourth will be Jordan Hill, and fifth will be Rob Neely. So we'll put Stephen Beckett, Terry Baker, and Alan Galetta into the B main tonight.
And I didn't think that Stephen Beckett would even be able to catch Rob Neely out there, but he made it close at the end. But nonetheless, he's headed for the B main. Heat race number 4 has rookie driver in the 14T out of Hagersville, Noel Teal on the pole. On the outside of the front row from Ohsweken, the 9C is Brian Nanakoke. Starting third from Gore's Landing, the 19 is Brandon Merle, and starting fourth from Freelton, the 43 is Darren Dryden. Starting fifth in the Lifto, number 70mm out of Brampton is Dave McKnight Jr., and starting sixth with fresh vinyl on that race car out of Kitchener, the 39 is Shane Stickle. Starting 7th from Woodstock, the 29W is Tyler Ward. Starting 8th from Ohsweken, the 38 is Derek Miller. Rounding out the field from Waterloo in the 19D, it's Alan Downey. Those are your crate sprint car drivers starting in heat race number 4. Mike Garrow, our connection, the man from MAV TV Canada, just offered me about 14 inches of paper towel, and I don't think that got anything for me. Two rolls of that might get me through the qualifying heats, but once the faucet opens, Greg, it's over.
You need one of those chamois wows or whatever it is you see on late night television marketing.
The chamois would say wow. Even sham wow. Wow, I got nothing for that. That guy needs a treadmill. Gotta say hello to my friends, Carrie and Caden, who are here catching their first ever dirt race. In fact, I think it's their first ever car race, Greg.
Did you send them down to corner 1?
I did not give them instructions on where they should sit because, you know, let them experience it for themselves. Doug Leonard sounds like a frustrated dad.
Having issues trying to confirm transponders, and he's asked the drivers to go single file past the start-finish line so they can pick each one up, and drivers not heeding to that.
It's like waking up on Christmas morning and trying to get the kids not to go after their presents. I mean, that's...
All right, field called to double up. We'll see the white flag this time around, and we'll get back to racing with the fourth and final qualifying heat of the night for the crate sprint car division. Up next will be the 360 sprints with their 3 qualifying heats, 8 laps each for those, and then we get into our qualifiers for the stock car portion of our show. Each will have 12-lap qualifying races, 2 for each division. Those will set the stage for tonight's main event on national TV.
Slow and steady. Rookie driver Noelle Teal will fire first. She gets that right as the pole sitter on the inside.
Brian Nanaco draws even with Noelle Teal down on corner number 1. She's doing a nice job staying wheel to wheel with Nanaco.
Noelle Teal has so much youthful energy, the driver of that 14, and there's no quit in her. She keeps her foot in it, got a little bit squirrely there in 4, gathers it back, and she throws it right back into turn number 1. Hats off to Noelle Teal, trying to qualify for what I believe would be her first feature event of the year here at Ohsweken.
Yeah, you're so right. She is not afraid to make the car go fast. Some drivers go out there and take the slow approach, but Noelle Teal has done anything but that. And she's up there solidly right now in second as Brandon Merle makes a nice pass to get into third.
Alan Downey just made a nice pass on Derek Miller at the back of the field. So the top 2 have pulled away a little bit. Third, Merle. Fourth, Darren Dryden. Fifth, Dave McKnight. You know, I dare say if you want to qualify for your first feature, this might have been the heat to be in. It's a lot of drivers who haven't had huge success, and it's luck of the draw, Greg, on who gets into which heat.
Right now, Brian Nanaco in a familiar spot. He's been very good in the qualifying heats this year so far in that 9 seed, the Canada Fuels ride. Back mid-pack right now, we're seeing Shane Stickle and Dave McKnight with a good battle.
That's an important position. That's the 5th position. Whoever gets that spot will get straight into the A main without having to run a B main tonight. So that's a big pass for Shane Stickle through 1 and 2. He'll clear Dave McKnight, but let's see what McKnight has in store in turns 3 and 4.
2 laps left to go for leader Brian Nanaco as he works it down the backstretch. But you said the battle is on behind him. Brandon Merle holds down second. Third is Noelle Teal. Fourth right now is that 43 machine.
Darren
Dryden and Shane Stickle trying to hold off at the line with 1 to go. Dave McKnight.
Dave McKnight with a good run. Stickle got a little bit loose trying to run the inside. McKnight had a nice run on the high side. This is still anyone's battle. Brian Nanaco is going to win this qualifying heat. Second to Merle. Noelle Teal with a great job coming home third. Then Darren Dryden and Shane Stickle. Dave McKnight will have a good starting spot for one of the B mains here tonight.
Brian Nanaco gets it done again, and the Canada Fuels number 9C as Crow will take the win in heat race number 4 for the Strickland Brantford Chevrolet Crate Sprint Car Division. First of 3 qualifying heats for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising. Sprint car division ready to come out onto the speedway. Getting some awesome shots from the RoboCam back in the tech barn as Brian Nanaco goes over the scales after his heat race win. And the starting lineup for heat race number 1 for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Sprint Cars looks like this. Going from the pole out of Caledonia in the Burger Barn Ace 1 Construction Aiken Motors car number 55, Mikey Bobby, Mike Thorne. Going second from Brantford in the Hills Tire and Gas, Brown Auto Service, Little Bend 110, that is Jake Brown. Starting from third out of St. Williams, Ontario in the Gales Auto Aftermarket car number 21, that'll be John Burbridge Jr. Alongside him, aboard car number 1, the Case IH Ohsweken Speedway. Car number 1, that'll be Holly Porter from Dorchester. Starting 5th in the Nitro 54 variety, Ackman Insurance car number 15, that'll be Hodge, Dan Nanaco. And starting 6th from Mississauga, in the rip shot. Car star Brantford, 17X. That's the highlight man, Mac DeMann. And going from 7th out of Thedford, Ontario. And the Jennifer Hatch Coldwell Banker, Tim's Lawn Care, number 5D, it's Shane Ross. Starting 8th from Oshweek in the Case IH, Oshweek Speedway Aero Express 68, Aaron Turkey. And going from the 9th and final starting position from Fenwick in the Oshweek Speedway, Bradshaw Brothers Fuels, car number 0. This is the Red Rocket, Jim Hoopinen. Talked to Jim's wife, Stephanie, prior to the race, and she said that Glenn Stiers approached Jim Hoopinen about driving one of his cars for a few races. Jim said, yep, they'll give it a try. So tonight is the first racing action. They tested down at Merrittville on Wednesday, and they're excited about this new partnership.
I would think so. Always stout equipment out of the Glenn Stiers Racing Stable. We are under green in heat race number 1 for the 360 sprints.
Down the back chute they go, out in front. Mikey Bobby, Mike Thorne, who has had 0 racing luck here in 2019, looking to get things back on track here tonight.
Thorne leads the way. Jake Brown battling with Holly Porter in the number 1. Right behind them is Mac DeMann in the Hills Racing number 17. Whoa, sideways. Mac DeMann through 4, gathers it up, keeps his foot to the floor.
Mike Thorne really got sideways off of corner 2 that time, as right behind him is Jake Brown in the Little Bend 110 trying to reel in the leader. Holly Porter right behind them, as is Mac DeMann. That's your top 4, then a big gap back to Aaron Turkey and John Burbridge Jr. going at it side by side for 5th.
And this track looks like it's widening out very nicely right now. Jim Hoopinen starting to get a little comfortable in that 0 machine. You can see he's running a lower line, but I think with the kind of horsepower you make out of those 0 cars, out of anything coming from Glenn Stiers, you can run a little bit higher on the racetrack and really wind it up, Greg.
Yeah, he's got it going hard down into corner number 3 to the inside of Dan Nanakoke, but has to back out of the throttle just a little bit. Nanakoke will hold the spot.
Down the back straightaway, Mike Thorne continuing to lead. 2 laps to go, says Kyle McKenzie, as Mike Thorne out in front of Jake Brown. Brown with a nice run out of 4. He'll drive to the inside in 1 and 2.
Jake Brown in the Little Bend 110 hops the car a little bit in corner number 2, gets it back, straightened, and into corner 3 as your leader, Mike Thorne, back there in 2nd now.
1 more lap to go. Jacob Brown pulling away. Holly Porter all by herself in 3rd. Mac DeMann alone in 4th. As things have strung out, going into 3rd turn one last time. Jacob Brown looks like he's going to take the win. 2nd to Mike Thorne. 3rd goes to Holly Porter. 4th to Mac DeMann. Rounding out the top 5 is Aaron Turkey, and Dan Nanakoke holds off Jim Hoopinen for the 6th spot. And Greg Callan, comment of the night goes to Megan Holden. I'm watching at my wedding. Worst wedding planner ever. And in a follow-up comment, she told her clients, because she is a wedding planner, if you book a Friday, I will be watching through dinner service.
Priorities.
And they're in the right place.
Second qualifying heat set to roll out for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Car, starting from the pole from Thamesford, Ontario, on the Vipond Aller car number 45. That'll be Curtis Gartley. Starting in position number 2 out of Caister Center in the Charlie B. Honey Pius Spring and Alignment, Braemar Buildings number 11. This is Jamie Turner. Going from 3rd from Waterdown, Ontario, aboard car number 0C, it's Cole McDonald. And starting in 4th out of Alden, New York, driving the Fiberworks Composite Merzac Enterprises number 49, the straight shooter, Scott Creuder. Starting in 5th from Lewiston, New York, in the G&J Contracting car number 81 is Derek Jonathan, and rolling off in 6th. Last week's winner from Caister Center in the Burger Bar and Ace 1 Construction Mobile 1, number 13, it is Corey Turner. Starting 7th from Beamsville in the Part Source J&E Recovery, number 88H, that is Josh Hansen from Beamsville. And starting in the 8th and final starting position, driver out of Port Colborne, Ontario, driving the Edwards Excavating and Construction R&B Welding 43, it's Scott Shirk. Well, a big weekend last weekend for Corey Turner in that Burger Barn Ace 1 Construction Mobile 1, number 13. He won on Friday night, found himself in Mr. Transmission Victory Lane, and then backed it up down at Brighton Speedway as the Southern Ontario Sprints finally got their season going after Mother Nature ruined the first 3 attempts. Of course, Corey Turner, the defending champion for the Southern Ontario Sprints, who are back in action tomorrow night down at the Merrittville Speedway.
It hasn't been. The SOS have not only had a tough time getting their season going, they've had a tough time with their regulars having problems on Friday nights when there was supposed to be an SOS race on the Saturday. Had a few drivers get torn up, so they might have appreciated some of those rainouts, Greg.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's played a bit into their favor. Shouldn't be a full field of cars tomorrow night as well at Merrittville. So early on in this one, we are green, and Scott Creuder jumps out to a big lead.
Yeah, Cole McDonald into second, Jamie Turner third, but he's going to lose that spot to his son, Corey Turner, coming off the fourth turn.
Corey really seems to have things hooked up here over the last couple of weeks as he works to the inside of Cole McDonald, looking for that runner-up position.
Curtis Gartley out here for the first time this year, bringing up the tail of the field, that orange number 45, a new look, a new number for Curtis Gartley. Cole McDonald hanging in there well on that zero machine. He's got Corey Turner right behind him, but that's as stout as we've seen the white number 0 all season long as he hangs on to that second spot.
Down into corner number 1 they go. McDonald up high. Turner working the bottom. That car hopping and bopping down in corner 1, and he'll drop alongside McDonald into 3.
I like that, hopping and bopping. Slide job for Corey Turner on Cole McDonald. Give Corey Turner that second spot. Cole McDonald still quite a buffer back to Jamie Turner in third, or fourth rather.
Well, the straight shooter Scott Creuder is on a mission here tonight. He's nearly got a half a lap lead over second place Corey Turner as he'll already catch the back of the field. Curtis Gartley, that first car in his sights with 2 laps to go.
2 laps remain for Creuder. He's going to go to the outside of Curtis Gartley down the back straightaway with a big head of steam in turn 3.
Around Scott Shirk, he will go as well, and beginning to reel in Derek Jonathan, but with a half a lap to go, it looks like Scott Creuder is going to cruise to the easy win as he works it through corner 4. Alden, New York, Scott Creuder picks up the win. Second place is coming. Here he comes through corner number 4. Corey Turner will be the runner-up in this one. Looks like Cole McDonald will nail down third. And fourth will go to Josh Hansen. Fifth at the line will be Jamie Turner. Sixth, Derek Jonathan. Seventh, Scott Shirk. And eighth will be Curtis Gartley.
You know, Scott Creuder really took it to the competition here in this qualifying heat, but I got to tell you, every week we've seen him in victory lane pretty much every week. He hasn't won yet, but he's been close. And every time you talk to him, he says, you know, we've got to get better. I know we need to improve. We have to do a little bit better. So that might have been a statement race for Scott Creuder there, getting out in front and keeping the hammer down. Clint?
Thanks, guys. Time for our first Case IH track report of the night. Down here in turn 3 and 4, you can see the inside grooves are really coming in nicely. A lot of moisture down low. What's got us concerned is this big chunk here up in the middle portion of the groove. So we'll bring out the Case IH tractors. We'll work on knocking these chunks down, getting it down more crumbled up and packed in. But we're going to watch what happens here in these last 360 heats and see how things go before we bring out the big Case IH machinery, guys.
Look at that. Clint looks good on camera right now. It's like he went in, had a shower, got freshened up. I think he visited the powder room. He cleans up fairly nice.
Third and final qualifying heat out onto the speedway for the Cool Kids Ice and Water Core Pack Merchandising Sprint Cars, starting from the pole in this one out of Charing Cross, Ontario, in the ERW Contracting, Tilbury Auto Sales and RV, Redneck Garage, car number 9B, that'll be Scott Burke. Starting to his outside, from Scotland, Ontario, in the Total Rentals, Ackland Insurance, car number 87X, it's Sean Evans. And going from position number 3, from Caster Center in the body line, Total Coatings number 46, it's Kevin Pauls. Starting in from position number 4 from Verona, New York, it'll be Pete Richardson aboard car number 67. And starting in 5th, he was finally dethroned last week after mechanical failures sent him into the turn 2 wall. The driver out of Scotland, Ontario, in the Sovereign Fusion. Original Traders Energy, Burford Heating and Air Conditioning, 47X D-Dubs, Dylan Westbrook. Going from 6th in the CarQuest Auto Parts, Brown Auto Service. Car number 10 downtown, Mitch Brown, and going from the 7th position, driving the Kingpin Farms, Burger Barn Ace 1 Construction. Car number 91 from Dunville. This is Ryan Turner. And starting in the 8th and final position from Carlisle, from the Nitro 54 variety, Creative Edge Signs and Graphics. Number 9, it's Steve Lyons.
You knew Dylan Westbrook wouldn't be down for long. They crashed that car last week. I would imagine there were a lot of parts tore up on that, the way the car veered straight up off the racetrack and into the fence there in turn 2.
And even with the 3 race wins at the start of the season, that one bad finish sent Dylan Westbrook back to 4th in the points.
Well, how long have we been starting 24 cars in our sprint car features, Greg? Is that new this year or was it new last year?
We went a couple of years ago, it was down to 20, but I think it was last year that they went back to the 24 car field.
But the moral of the story is we've had full car counts every night, so when you have a problem, you wind up going all the way to the back. You're all the way to 24th potentially, so Dylan Westbrook lost some spots as he comes right across the nose of Mitch Brown to take over the 2nd spot.
And for Dylan Westbrook, it was a steering box issue. That car basically went into corner number 1, full speed, no steering. And you would think, man, I'd be awful hesitant the next time I went into any corner, but not for Dylan Westbrook. He's made for moments like this.
He really is. He's a tough cookie. You got to go back and put your foot down, do the things you got to do. Sean Evans, he has bounced through turn 3 of the last 2 laps. As we got one up and off the racetrack, Scott Burke up and out of the groove. That'll cost him a couple of spots.
Sean Evans out in front over his teammate Dylan Westbrook back in 2nd. Mitch Brown's up into the 3rd spot with Ryan Turner driving in 4th. Cross flags in the air. We're 4 in, 4 to go. So his 3rd and final qualifying heat.
Hills Racing has the top 2 spots right now. Sean Evans and Dylan Westbrook. Mitch Brown not too far back in the 3rd position. As they work through 3 and 4, they're going to close in on the 46 of Kevin Pauls as Scott Burke with a problem. He's headed pit side off of turn 2.
Evans now works up on the lap car of Kevin Pauls, working to the outside of him in corner number 3, and that allows Dylan Westbrook to close the gap. They come down. It's 2 laps left to go for Sean Evans.
Twice more around, and this would be a great moment for Sean Evans early in his 360 sprint car career. To hold off Dylan Westbrook is quite a feat, and he finally found a line going into turn 3 that did not send the car airborne.
One more trip around for the driver of the Total Rentals, number 87X, as he goes through corner number 2 and down the backstretch for the final time, looking for his first career heat race win.
Does it again in 3, finds the line he needs to run, brings it off of 4, checkers in the air for Sean Evans. Dylan Westbrook going to come home 2nd, Mitch Brown in 3rd. Finishing 4th is Ryan Turner in the 91, and 5th looks like it's going to be Richardson.
There's your winner out of Scotland, Ontario, on the Total Rentals Ties 3 Service Ackland Insurance. Car number 87X out of the Hills Racing Stables, along with Nathan Ackland Racing. That is Sean Evans. Scotland, Ontario, well represented in that 3rd and final qualifying heat for Sean Evans and Dylan Westbrook. Well, we see the Case IH equipment coming out onto the speedway. They're going to work up those areas of concern that Clinton Jeffrey pointed out in our Case IH trackside report. And for those watching at home or on your smartphones here, you can see the work being done down there in 3 and 4.
And it really is not a very lengthy process either. They'll go down there and churn through that groove. And the trouble is when you have that thick clay mound that builds, it can really throw these sprint cars airborne at the worst possible time. So they'll grind those down. They'll run some Packer vehicles through it. Clinton Jeffrey, you're down on the scene. This is pretty much as minor as you can get when it comes to cosmetic surgery on a dirt track.
Yeah, and you're exactly right, Adam. What happens is it develops a huge chunk. So the best way to get that down is just chop it up into crumble, get the cars to quickly pack it a lap or 2, and we'll be ready to go back here in just a moment.
And if you're watching online as they go through the tech barn, I believe we were looking at ride heights being teched. Let's have a look if they do that again. Glenn Hill's given the stop sign on the scales, so they'll weigh the car with the driver in it. Yeah, I believe that tool is checking ride heights, but I could be wrong.
So the same process taking place down on 1 and 2 with the track surface.
Hey, Greg, is your butt asleep yet?
That's why I'm standing.
Yeah, I'm about to, but I'm not sure if my legs will hold me up. I've got the tingles going on.
So up next, we have the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. They'll have 2 qualifying races. Each are 12 laps. And that will set the field for their main event tonight, followed by the Thunder Stocks, and they will again run 2 12-lap qualifiers, setting the stage for their feature event as well. As this again is one of our all-north racing powered by Pinty's Nights on MAV TV Canada. So at 9 o'clock, those watching on our live stream broadcasts on YouTube and Facebook, that broadcast will be shut down and things will move over to the MAV TV Canada feed.
If you're bored during the downtime, don't forget Victory Games. Well, Race Rivals have another free roll this weekend, and it's at Jukasa Speedway, the APC race tomorrow at Jukasa Motor Speedway. So if you've not signed on, head to racerivals.com, follow the links to Victory Games, and sign up. It's free to play, $100 to the winner.
So Nathan Ackland just texted me, Adam, and your question about what they're measuring there in the barn, the nose wing distance to the front axle measurement. That is what they're looking for.
Okay. Todd Tolton messaged me to tell me the same thing. See, it's interesting because I've never, when you're over here announcing, you can't be in the tech barn, so I never see what they're up to over there. I just take their word for it.
Brooke Bridgewater says hello from turn 1.
Hey, Brooke. Why did you look at turn 4 when you said that?
No, I was looking at you, and I was actually seeing who was in our scoring booth tonight because Brooke was part of our scoring team for the last number of seasons, did a phenomenal job, but Brittany's not here either, so I'm just wondering who was down there. Because I wasn't going to physically look in corner 1 and pretend that I could see Brooke. Oh, actually I can.
Now we can. She's waving to us.
Hi, Brooke. We miss you. Ready for the mini stocks with their first of 2 qualifiers. And we have a slew of cars. That's the best word that I can come up with to describe how many cars we have here tonight. There are, 38. 38 in total here tonight. And a few drivers that aren't regulars with us on Friday night. Starting on the pole in this one from Caledonia, the Burger Barn, East One Construction 360, it's Kevin Thorne. And alongside him, the Savona Services car number 15, it's Cheeseburger Sean Iftati. Going from spot number 3 from Smithville in the Lampman Salvage 6X, it's Mike Sirentakos. And from the 4th starting position aboard car number 60, it's Martin Creuder. Starting in position number 5 from Hamilton, the R&B Sprinklers. Car number 96, it's Brian Crosgrove. And going from position number 6 aboard car number 1, the vacuum trucks ride, that is Jason Tolton from Guelph. Starting 7th, John Cote in the 38 seat. To his outside from Dundas in the Cal Tire 69, it's Rob Twitchett. Going from 9th in the 92, this will be Jeremy Cooper from Hamilton. And to his outside, Ken Hamilton from Brantford driving the 6th car tonight instead of Jason Dixon. Starting 11th out of Dundas, the 21 of Jonathan Ayrton. Alongside him, the 26th, it'll be Tim Newell. Going from 13th in the Gibbs Action Sports Let's Landscape Car 01, it's Tristan De Silva. And Jeremy May starts 14th out of Hagersville in the 16J, the summertime spray foam machine. Sam Iftati in the X machine from Welland starts 15th, 89. And out of Simcoe, Ontario in the 88 goes 16th, 17th. Dave Goodacre from Brantford in the 05. Leroy Buscombe starts 18th aboard car number 72. And Aiden Maynard from Chatham in the 28 starts 19th as Leroy Buscombe goes around here on the front stretch.
Not a good start to the night for Leroy Buscombe as he backs that car down along Mr. Transmission Victory Lane, and we complete lap number 1.
Well, and you know what? That's good sportsmanship by Leroy Buscombe because he essentially now is not going to make the A main. He came to the green flag, and that's his night. We do not have consolation races tonight for the stock car portion of the program, so he could have brought out the caution flag, but thought better of it. That
was a sportsmanlike thing to do. As we look through this field, I'm going to scroll down to who we've got listed as 15th. Right now, the 88 of Aiden Nye in the 15th spot.
He's got David Goodacre behind him, trying to work his way in. Now Jeremy May, who's had to repanel that number 16J, he is going to the pit area. So another bad week for Jeremy May. Such a shame.
Now I'm showing Cole Hardy. If I count by my eye, Cole Hardy is in that 15th position. So somebody must not have a transponder on their race car, because Cole Hardy is 15th in that final transfer spot. Out front it is all Thorne in that Burger Barn 360. And they are 4 wide deep in the field outside of the top 10, but these are important positions they're racing for. Jason Dixon gets a little squirrely in 2. That allows Tolton in the number 1 to the inside, and Rob Twitchett in that blue 69 to close in. He's going to drive to the outside.
Strange, Cole Hardy was not in our lineup either when he went through that, but he is there in a transfer position right now. Is quite a pack of cars, middle portion of this race.
Yeah, almost halfway through this qualifying heat for the mini stocks.
Kevin Thorne checking out in the 360. Good run for him, and Mike Cerentaco is solid again.
So once they transfer into tonight's A main, they will handicap the field once again. There will be an inversion, I believe, of the top 16 from time trials. Sometimes we like to keep it mysterious as to why things happen the way they do. We're just going to read the lineup as it is on the sheet. I mean, we're Ron Burgundy when it comes to that, San Diego.
Sean Iftati working all over the back end of the 6X, and Mike Cerentaco's for the runner-up position as they go down the backstretch. We see Kevin Thorne way out in front in that Burger Barn 360. Big pack of cars on the backstretch, and Rob Twitchett gets sent sideways. Tim Newell and Cole Hardy wrapped up in this, and the caution flag will come out.
Yellow flag flies. Rob Twitchett, I don't think will be too happy about that. How did that start? That started with one car getting a little bit squirrely and everyone having to check up.
Not sure if we'll see a replay on that or not. But yeah, Rob Twitchett got spun around coming off a corner too, and it was a long time in the making.
His car looks none the worse for wear. Let's see how that leaves him for the restart. 12-lap race. There's 4 laps left to get into a transfer spot. Newell getting pushed back to the pit, so problems for that 26 machine. Cole Hardy in the 7C, Rob Twitchett in the 69 go to the back.
So that 20 car is the 15th and final transfer spot. So Cole Hardy and Rob Twitchett.
So they're right there. They just
right
have
there
to pass 2 cars each
to get back to where they were, but the wily veteran Dave Goodacre's not going to make it easy for them. And that 20A, that is Aiden Maynard from Chatham. White flag displayed. Next time we'll get right back out at 8 on the board and 4 laps left to go in this 12-lap qualifier to see who makes it into the A main. It's all or nothing tonight. They did their timed hot laps, and then they have their qualifying race, and if you don't make it, you're done. Now, there are some provisionals. Is that correct?
Yeah, so they take the top 15 out of each, and then the next 2 in track points are supposed to get the 2 provisionals to fill out the 32-car field. Rob Twitchett was really hanging back there. He's got a long way to go here to close in on the field in that Cal Tire number 69 all the way at the back. Cerentaco side by side with Kevin Thorne as they race off at turn 2.
Cerentaco's hanging with the leader this time down in 3 and 4 as they come down across the stripe. It'll be 9 complete and 3 laps left to go as the train forms in the front four, but then it's side by side with Sam Toddy and Tristan De Silva, and there's contact a couple of times down there in corner one.
Repeated contact. Jason Dixon Ken Hamilton driving the 6 machine. He's having some handling issues in turn 2. That's been a trouble spot for him, so he could fall back into the clutches of that battle for 15th. And one car smoking, likely a tire rub.
It is all sorts of interesting back there for the final transfer spot. As this time by, we'll see the white flag for leader Kevin Thorne, but there is a big gaggle of cars all fighting to get in at the back.
One more time around, Kevin Thorne has opened up an advantage once again. Serentakos in second over Creuder and Iftadi. And we watch the battle at the back to see who's going to get in. Right now, Dave Goodacre is one spot out, trying to battle his way.
Can't get to the inside of Aiden Maynard. Coming off a 4, Kevin Thorne will pick up the win. Second will go to Mike Serentakos. Third at the line, Martin Creuder over Sean Iftadi. 5th, Sam Iftadi. 6th will be Jason Tolton. 7th is Tristan De Silva. 8th, Jonathan Ayrton. 9th at the line was the 92 machine. And the Hamilton machine behind him, the 92 is Jeremy Cooper. And then Cote, Hardy, Crosgrove, Twitchett, Goodacre, and Aiden Nye. Now, don't forget Cole Hardy, his transponder not picking up, so he is within the transfer position right now. No, he did schedule in the 11th spotter. That's where he finished out. So Hardy, Crosgrove, Twitchett, Goodacre, and Aiden Nye, the final to make it through there. It is actually Aiden Maynard's car that is not being picked up by the transponder system, so he did get into the 15th and final transfer position. Getting ready for the second and final qualifier for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. Another 12 laps will go up on the board as the point leader comes out here. That's the number 9 of Tim DeBoer. He will draw upside the outside of the pole sitter, Dusty DeBoer, in the Timson Auto number 3 from Hagersville. Tim DeBoer, the point leader from York, Ontario, also sponsored by Timson Auto. Aboard car number 9, he'll start second. Third, Mike Evers out of Caledonia in the 265 machine. To his outside, Chris Reichman out of Hamilton. And the Hallett Home Improvements number 93 machine goes from 4th. Starting 5th, out of Waterford in car number 46, that'll be Wade Thorne. And starting 6th from Welland, Tony Kelly in the 12. Good to have Tony here tonight. Mike Taylor will roll off 7th from Hamilton in the 17. Alongside him, the Kubota Gaylor Equipment number 16 from Ancaster. It's Fabio Oliveri. And starting in the 9th spot, Daniel McKay back with us tonight aboard car number 13. Starting in position number 10 in the Bellcamp Manufacturing 54, that's Christopher French out of Stratford, Ontario. And going from 11th is Zach Buchwald from Simcoe in car number 10. Going from position number 12, the current the driver with the most wins. He's got 2 wins this year, although not the point leader out of Ancaster, the Eccles Auto Service 19, that is Kyle Wirt. And lining up around in the next row in the 13th starting spot from New Hamburg in the Cobra Trucking number 21H, rookie driver Ryan Hiller. Olivier Larocque goes from position number 14 out of Hamilton in car number 91. Starting 15th from Oshwegan, that'll be Paul Longboat in the 188. Mike Iverson, the pinball, starts 16th. He's out of Caledonia in car number 11. Then it's Cody Somerville starting 17th from Caledonia in the 517. Kyle Tomaski joining us tonight in number 44. Starts 18th. And Trevor Watt will go from the 19th spot. He's from Niagara Falls. White flag displayed on the field, and again, another 15 drivers will go into tonight's main event. Everyone else will load up and go home for the night. HRW Automotive Mini Stocks with the DeBoers on the front row. Off of corner 4 they come. The DeBoers will bring us to the green flag, and we are on it for the second qualifier of the night for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks. 3 wide, Mike Evers works the bottom. The wily veteran pulling out in front of the DeBoers down the backstretch. Big pack of cars are going to be 4 wide. Well, they thought about it. 3 wide off of corner number 4. Chris Reichman tucks in behind. Mike Evers now looks to the outside of him in corner 1. Reichman, gets woed up behind Evers, who slows in corner number 2. Reichman will take the lead. Evers still under power, but not as quick as he was. And he's had a stream of cars sail by him. Now in corner 3, they all stack up. Kyle Wirt got sideways, and now we've got the nose cone bent up on the 21H of Ryan Hiller, and part of it laying down the inside of corner number 4. Dusty DeBoer and Chris Reichman side by side for the top spot. You've got Wade Thorne, Tim DeBoer back there in positions 3 and 4. Down the backstretch go the leaders. Dusty DeBoer out in front over Chris Reichman. Side by side with Tim DeBoer and Wade Thorne back there in positions 3 and 4. That debris picked up as the field went by, so nothing down there in corner 4 any longer as our own Clinton Jeffrey got on the scene and cleaned things up. Dusty DeBoer out in front over Chris Reichman. Wade Thorne. Tim DeBoer side by side for 5th right now. It's Fabio Oliveri and Tony Kelly. 5th and 6th. 7th right now, Daniel McKay. 8th is Christopher French. 9th is Mike Taylor. 10th, Kyle Wirt. 11th is Olivier Larocque. 12th is Mike Evers. 13th, Paul Longboat. 14th, Trevor Watt. And 15th is side by side with Ryan Hiller and Zach Buchwald. Cross flags up in the air as we complete lap number 6. Dusty DeBoer. Tim DeBoer loses the right rear. That wheel is gone completely. The point leader in all sorts of troubles down in corner number 1. And the wheel trying to race him down in there as you see it rolling into the infield. Question is, will it bounce over the wall? It looks like it will stay corralled in the infield. Tim DeBoer gets the car back into the infield as well, and the point leader. We've seen this twice this year now where the point leader's not going to make the big dance.
Well, and he'll have one of those provisionals, thankfully, as long as they can make the repairs.
They have to complete all the laps to get the provisional.
I don't think so. That's the point of the provisional, I would imagine.
Dusty DeBoer out in front. Chris Reichman 2nd. Wade Thorne 3rd. Tony Kelly right there in 4th. And Fabio Oliveri 5th. The man that's had the most work to do has been Kyle Wirt, who went to Mr. Transmission Victory Lane 1 week ago. He's found his way from the back up to the 6th spot now. DeBoer getting by Cody Somerville. This time I will complete lap number 10. There'll be 2 laps left to go for the HRW Automotive Mini Stocks in the final 15 spots to be set for tonight's main event. Chris Reichman right now doing the old Elvis lip curl on the right front hood. Is that right front part of the hood flapping up in the breeze, but looks to be securely fastened down on the left side, so he should be able to finish it out. White flag goes out on the field for Dusty DeBoer.
So DeBoer having a real successful qualifier here as he works through 1 and 2 for the final time with a big advantage over Reichman and Wade Thorne.
So if things hold true, then Tim DeBoer would most likely get that first provisional, and I think Jeremy May might be the next one that would get a provisional, as he is the next highest in points that hasn't transferred. Dusty DeBoer gets the win. Chris Reichman 2nd, Wade Thorne 3rd, 4th Fabio Oliveri, 5th at the line is Tony Kelly, 6th was Kyle Wirt, 7th Olivier Larocque, 8th was Mike Evers, 9th Mike Taylor, 10th at the line was the 21H of Ryan Hiller, then it was Paul Longboat back there with Trevor Watt, Zach Buchwald, and Daniel McKay.
And DeBoer wanting to waste no time. He is driving that car back to the pits on 3 wheels. They'll get straight to work. Here's how they'll line up for Thunderstock qualifying heat number 1. On the pole out of Hagersville in the number 8, it's Ryan Dinning. On the outside from Hamilton, the 25 is Kenny Sargent. Row 2 on the inside out of Harley, the 37 is Robert Hoskins, and alongside him from Canfield, the 32 is Mark Fawcett. Starting 5th, last week's feature winner out of Caister Center, the 28D is Donnie Lampman, and starting 6th, his dad from Caister Center, the 28 of Jim Lampman. Starting 7th from Thorold in the number 11, it's Go Fast Teeple, and starting 8th from Port Robinson, the 108Z is Zach Bleach. Starting 9th from Hagersville, the 93 is Melissa Miller, and starting 10th in the number 4 out of Simcoe, it's Aaron Rowitsky. Starting 11th in the 6R, it's Jeff Rulifs, and starting 12th from Brantford in the 13, it's Casey Huffman. Starting 13th in the number 2, it's Matt Newell. Starting 14th from Hamilton, the 43 is Kyle Andrus. Rounding out the field out of Jerseyville, the number 53 is Logan Schwedick. All of these drivers will qualify for tonight's feature event. Clinton Jeffrey, the track manager, had 32 starting spots set aside, 29 cars in attendance tonight, which is a great field of Thunderstocks, Greg.
Oh, absolutely. A great division of action that we see every week. These 8-cylinder stock cars put on a great show, and so far this year, a different face down at Mr. Transmission Victory Lane every single night. It has not been the Dinning and Bailey show like normal.
No, it's anybody's guess who can take it. And last year, of course, a young face in Victory Lane, 15-year-old Donnie Lampman. As he drives into turn number 1, poking his nose to the inside of Rob Hoskins. Here comes his dad, Jim Lampman, to the outside.
Side by side out in front for the Club 54 Racing teammates, Ryan Dinning and Ken Sargent. Ryan Dinning looking to get off the schneid here tonight. He's struggled here mightily in the first part of 2019.
He has not looked like the Ryan Dinning that we have come to know for many years as one of the dominators of this division.
Ken Sargent pokes his nose out in front. One of the most enjoyable interviews in Victory Lane is Ken Sargent. The night he won, that was a night to remember, and he gets just as excited being in the top 3.
Well, he knows how hard it is. I mean, he's raced for a long time all over Ontario, down through New York. He knows how tough it is to get onto that podium, so he enjoys those moments. And last week, did a great job. His entire interview was basically a tribute to Donnie Lampman, and what a good job that young man did.
Down the back stretch they go. Sargent and Dinning pulling away from the pack. Mark Fawcett back there in the 3rd spot. Rob Hoskins sitting in 4th. And Donnie Lampman, the man of the hour. Well, I guess we call him the boy of the hour 1 week ago, picking up that win. And who will ever forget him and his dad celebrating down in Mr. Transmission Victory Lane? That was a great sight on Father's Day weekend.
And he ran about 50 feet to greet his dad with a big hug. That had to be a fantastic moment for Jim Lampman as Aaron Rowitsky peels off the track. He'll take that number 4 back to the pits.
Sargent continuing to lead over Ryan Dinning, and the Bees Nest is behind them. Fawcett, Hoskins, and the 2 Lampmans right there. A little contact, I thought, between Hoskins and Fawcett, as now Hoskins goes way up the track to see Donnie Lampman on the high side.
Well, Donnie Lampman went to the inside to make a move, and Hoskins defended the inside, so Donnie Lampman went to the outside, and his dad Jim went to the inside.
I want to thank everyone that tuned in to the live stream here tonight on Facebook and YouTube. We will be cutting this one off at 9 p.m. as the feed goes to MAV TV Canada nationwide. Check your local provider to see if you have MAV TV Canada. If not, get on the horn and tell your provider you need MAV TV Canada. Thank you very much for tuning in to our live feed here tonight.
Down through 3 and 4, it'll be 4 laps to go as the battle for 3rd continues to rage. Fawcett has the spot. Rob Hoskins looking to the inside, and the Lampmans are right there to pounce on any opportunity.
Good fight back there from 3rd on back. They'll go 3 wide off the 2nd corner as Fawcett and Hoskins, I think, make that Lampman got into a little contact again.
Yeah, Hoskins and Lampman that time. Fawcett had kind of pulled out ahead of that battle. Now Jim Lampman setting his sights on Fawcett, trying to get one more spot out of the deal.
That time, Donnie Lampman gave Rob Hoskins a shot down the front stretch. Good battle there from third on back, continuing on. Meanwhile, the top two streaking away. Ken Sargent sees the 2-to-go signal.
2 laps left as they're side by side for third and side by side for fifth. Lampman's on the inside of both battles. Fawcett in the 32 on the outside of his battle. Rob Hoskins in the 37 on the outside of his battle.
White flag coming out for leader Ken Sargent, who's catching the tail end of the field, and Kyle Andrus in the 43 machine. Sargent over Dinning, Fawcett, and the Lampmans are your top 5.
He's got about 6 car lengths over Ryan Dinning in that number 8 as he drives to the inside of Andrus down into 3, slides up in front of the 43 machine. He'll see the checkered flag this time. Kenny Sargent. Ryan Dinning going to finish second. Who's going to bring it home third? Fawcett on the outside, Lampman to the inside. It'll be Fawcett over Jim Lampman, Donnie Lampman, Rob Hoskins, Bleach, Go Fast, Teeple, Jeff Rulifs, Newell, Huffman, Miller. That's how they finish.
One more qualifier for the Middleport Mechanical Thunderstock division here on McDonald's of Brantford and Paris night.
Here's how they're going to line up on the pole in the 49 out of Hagersville. Dave Bailey going to start first. Outside him from Victoria, the 84 RK is Ryan Beagle. Starting third in the 23 from Hagersville, it's Trevor DeBoer, and on the outside of that